we're right now very much focused on, as you know, as a society, as a group, as perhaps in the zeitgeist, that we're looking at psychedelics being a really powerful medicine, and it absolutely is. But it's so much more than that. It's so much, so much, so much more than that. It's really about wellness, right? So the holy grail for me would be 5 or 8 years down the road. I don't know when, that I walk out of the house, I say hi to my neighbor, Bill, and I go, "Hey, what's up?" And he goes, "What's going on with you today?" And I tell him that, well, I'm going to the dentist for my biannual, cleanup and hygiene. And he's like, "Oh, I'm going to a clinic for my, biannual reset." And I go, "Oh, that's awesome. Great. Let me know how it goes." And we go without there being any stigma, any judgment, any questions, because we all realize that, it's important to be reset every so often in order to, continue with what you need to do in life, with all the responsibilities, everything else, all these issues, that's important. It's preventative. It helps you to do what you do. We're not thinking about psychedelics in that regards yet as a society, right? So we're right now thinking of it more as, okay, here are the ailments, and here is a potential for these molecules to interact with the receptors in the appropriate way to solve that problem. Because currently, what we've got out there to solve that problem is not working. So it brings into question how you treat people. It brings into question how you treat yourself. And if we all just were conscious of that, I guarantee you, we'd raise the vibration of that community, of the planet, or what that gathering of that group of people ever so slightly. And it would make this world such a better place. One of my favorite quotes is from the book from Siddhartha, Hermann Hesse, where Govind and Siddhartha having a conversation, and to paraphrase it, Govind basically says, "Listen, knowledge is transferable, right? I mean, it's transferable. I can teach you something, how to do this, how to do that, or how to trade a bond, or how to make chicken cacciatore the right way, blah blah blah. But wisdom is not. Like, wisdom is not transferable. You've got to walk the walk. You got to live it. You got to breathe it. You got to understand it. But I strongly feel that those experiences that you have through certain psychedelics, done in the right way, responsibly, where you've approached it with, reverence, and you've done the work ahead of time and you do the work afterwards, actually download wisdom. And it's wisdom through essence. It's very difficult to explain it, because my vocabulary still does not have my imagination does not have the vocabulary to be able to explain a lot of what I see or go through, or what I experience. But the essence is very much there. It's downloaded. I don't think there's anything more personalized than this, meaning that you can give 5 to 10 to 15 to 20 individuals the same exact dosage of psychedelics, the same exact time and minute and whatever, and they will have extremely different experiences. At some level, they may be all sort of similar in some regards, and that's what typically tends to happen when you're doing ayahuasca with a group, that there's a certain theme that pervades across the experience. But everybody's experience is like a snowflake, right? There are no two snowflakes alike, and that's the beauty of it. So for me, it was this profound understanding, again, personal, that this game doesn't end ever. Much like matter never dies, there is no concept such as death. That this game is always on, and it's one project or assignment or learning or experience to another, and you keep going on and on and on and on and on. And as such, you keep evolving, but the process never really stops. So there is no end to this. It's not like, okay, I'm done, finished, we're dead, I'm dead now, I'm going to relax, and there's nothing else to do. It's just Black Hat Man, fade away, and walk off stage left. No, it just never stops. That literally everybody that you meet is a reflection of you, is a part of it.
Yes.
Right. And so that there's one thing to kind of hear that and go, okay, that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, but sounds good. But there's another part where you go, yes, it's like very pro and a very positive COVID story. There's a lot of good things that have also come out of COVID, right? It's allowed people, I kind of see it as like as an enforced vipassana session, right? Where you're kind of like, okay, stop everything you're doing, right? Sit down, think, reflect, contemplate. This is the only opportunity you're going to get to do that. And if you need to reinvent yourself, reinvent yourself. But you start to ask those questions, like, and believe me, I'm 49 years of age this year, 50 obviously next year if you do that. I've been asking myself up until the age of 48, what's my purpose in life? What am I supposed to be doing? Where am I supposed to be going? I've done, well, relatively speaking, and so it wasn't a question of trying to find something that would pay me or a job or anything else, but I just wasn't feeling fulfilled in any way. And then my interest in esoteric philosophies, in mysticism, in Eastern philosophies, in all the various religions and the mystic side of those religions is what ultimately led me to also states of consciousness. But that was always sort of a hobby, an outside thing. And what a profound way to meld that with a toolbox that I've been sort of collecting over the last, 25, 30 years of investment management and putting those two together. So long story short, I feel that I've finally arrived in my life, right? I've now arrived now. I don't need to ask a question about purpose anymore. I know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing.